Hey everyone, I'm Matt, along with Jeff and Mike. We're going to be talking about job order costing today. What is job order costing? Job order costing is a system for assigning manufacturing costs to large, unique, high-cost items. When is job order costing used? We use job order costing when dealing with unique products that are built to order rather than mass-produced. Many costs can be directly traced to each job. Job order versus process order costing. Process costing is used for production of small, identical, low-cost items. Process costing consists of mass production in an automated continuous process, and costs cannot be directly traced to each unit of product.
Since the job order costing system is used within unique products, it is built to order rather than mass-produced. Orders follow this sequence of events. The company receives an order from the customer. The job will then be scheduled. Then the company can order its materials. Once that is complete, they can begin production. When evaluating and implementing job costing systems, there is a 5-step decision-making process to determine costs of jobs in a timely manner. Let's say Doherty Plumbing and Heating is looking to give Sacred Heart University an estimate for doing the plumbing and heating on a new building. Doherty Plumbing and Heating will go through a 5-step decision process to help determine an accurate and proper estimate for the job. First, the company will identify potential problems and uncertainties that may be involved with taking on this job. A potential problem in this case might include the risk of not having enough employees to complete the job in the allotted time. The second step is to obtain information. The company will want to evaluate the skill set of their employees and ensure they are properly trained for this job. They may also want to decide if the choice to take this job aligns with the company's strategy. Perhaps they do not want to accept commercial jobs that take more than a certain amount of months. The third step would require the company to make predictions about the future. Can they rely on their union or perhaps other companies to hire temporary job-specific employees? How much more materials and labor can they afford if estimates are understated? The fourth step is making decisions by choosing among alternatives. Doherty Plumbing and Heating will want to lay out several pricing possibilities before coming to a conclusion in order to look at the estimate from multiple angles. Finally, the company will implement the decision, evaluate the performance, and learn. Once the job has begun, to compute the direct and indirect costs of the job, the general approach to job costing using normal costing is commonly used by companies involved in manufacturing, merchandising, and service sectors. This is known as the 7-step approach.
The steps go as follows. 1. Identify the job that is the chosen cost object. 2. Identify the direct costs that are related to the job. 3. Select the cost allocation base to use for allocating indirect costs. 4. Match indirect costs to the respective cost allocation base. 5. Calculate an overhead allocation rate. This is done by taking budgeted manufacturing overhead costs and dividing it by budgeted total quantity of cost allocation base. 6. Allocate your overhead costs to the job. This is done by taking your budgeted allocation rate, which we just found, and multiplying it by the actual base activity for the job. 7. Compute the total job cost by adding all direct and indirect costs together. I'm now going to use Doherty Plumbing and Heating as an example of real-life job order costing. Every job's costs are different and unique for Doherty Plumbing and Heating because every job is different and unique and don't follow the same need for materials and labor. I'm going to now use the 7-step process to come to a final job price and how Doherty Plumbing and Heating would do this. So first, they need to get a job, whether this be in a renovation or putting up a brand new building. Second, they identify the direct costs that are related to the job. These are things like direct labor and direct materials such as pipes. 3. Select the cost allocation base. For Doherty Plumbing and Heating, the cost allocation base is direct labor hours. This will also be the only cost allocation base, so it will completely control indirect costs. 5. You're going to calculate an overhead allocation rate. They do this by taking their budgeted manufacturing overhead costs and dividing it by the budgeted total direct labor hours that the company has. 6. You have to allocate overhead costs to every job. They do this by taking the budgeted rate that they just found and timesing that by the direct labor hours it took to get a job done. Finally, they're going to compute the total cost of the job by adding all direct materials, labor, to their indirect costs. This is how job order costing works, and I hope you enjoyed our presentation.